All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. This morning, I want to talk about Bitcoin and the entire cryptocurrency world. There's an event going on right now. The cryptocurrencies are getting hit very hard, so I want to take a look at how that's affecting Bitcoin, the Bitcoin miners. It all centers around a company called Celsius, and we're going to look into that and what they do and what's gone wrong. So we talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners and cryptocurrency all the time on this channel, so if you're new here and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could do us a favor and smash the like button, it helps us out a lot. And lastly, there is a link in the pinned comment below to our Discord, which is free, and we talk about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. We'd love to have you there. I just want to start by looking at Bitcoin, and I'm going to look at my Bitcoin miner big board. And if you look at the top, you're going to see Bitcoin's down almost 11% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum's down almost 14% in the last 24 hours. Those are big crashes. If you look at all the Bitcoin miners underneath, you'll see that the vast majority are in double-digit losses. A few of them are a little bit under 10%, but you've got Argo Blockchain down 19%. That's the worst one, but everything's getting beaten up and taken out today. So is this a permanent situation? Are we crashing? What's going on? So that's what I want to go through and talk about. Why is this happening today? Because there is a very specific reason. The reason for this is Celsius. Celsius is a service where people keep their cryptocurrency, and here's what they did yesterday. We're writing with a very important message for our community. Due to extreme market conditions, today we are announcing that Celsius is pausing all withdrawals, swaps, and transfers between accounts. We are taking this action today to put Celsius in a better position to honor over time its withdrawal obligations. So what does that mean? If you have your cryptocurrency in Celsius, you cannot get it out right now. So this is causing panic. And Celsius is a decent sized company, but it's not so much the size and scale as it is the fear that it's putting into the community that this would spread as a contagion potentially to other larger exchanges, and what safeguards are in place to keep your cryptocurrency safe. So I'm not here to spread fear. I use several different exchanges. I don't use Celsius. There are a lot of companies like this, and this is where the regulations are going to come in, because effectively what these types of companies are is they're brokerages. They're the custodians of your money, and they're not really guaranteed or backed by anything. So, if they can one day all of a sudden just put a memo out that says, by the way, you can't get any of your money back right now, we'll let you know when you can, that is deeply disturbing. So it is sending some shockwaves through the entire cryptocurrency world. We're at some unnaturally low numbers right now. We're going to have to see how this plays out. So where we go from here depends a little bit on how Celsius plays out, but I do think that this is a knee-jerk reaction that's probably a little bit of an overreaction. Not to say that this isn't a bad thing. This is certainly deeply disturbing. Celsius Network, CEL, their coin is down 47% today. And if I go here, you're going to see it's down 97.5% from its highs, which was on June 4th, 2021. So this coin has lost basically all of its value. And this was a big part of the Celsius ecosystem. So this is what's concerning to people. So when you get a memo like this, they want to honor over time their withdrawal obligations. So that does not sound like you're getting your money out today or tomorrow or anytime necessarily soon, potentially. So we will see. They say we're taking the necessary action for the benefit of our entire community in order to stabilize liquidity and operations while we take steps to preserve and protect assets. Furthermore, customers will continue to accrue rewards during the pause in line with our commitment to our customers. Okay, so they have a rewards program. We understand that this news is difficult, but we believe that our decision to pause withdrawals, swaps, and transfers between accounts is the most responsible action we can take to protect our community. So not what anybody wants to hear. And we will find out. Ultimately, what we would like to see is however long it takes, we'd like to see everybody that has money or cryptocurrency with these guys gets their money back. So what happens to Celsius, I think we don't necessarily care about. They may be a casualty of the crypto world. But this is a case study, and we are still very early in the cryptocurrency world. So this is a part of the reason there's so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because the system's never been stressed and it's never been tested like this. So we just saw Luna fail, and that sent some shockwaves through the system. Now, we're not too many days after that, and we're seeing Celsius on hold. So I don't know that this has failed yet. This this is obviously a very bad sign because unfortunately, once this momentum happens, what they're doing is avoiding essentially the equivalence of a run on the bank. They're saying, we're not even going to let you take your money out. So they're creating a pause, but pressure does build up. So I don't know that that gets better and is relieved over time. We're going to have to wait and see what their plan is to get people their money back. For the market, it's not a massive amount of money. What it is it shows a hole in the cryptocurrency universe. And this is what happens to a young, maturing space like this. People try to poke holes in it and they find the weaknesses and they get flushed out over time. So these things are going to happen and regulations will actually help this. I'm not a gigantic regulations guy, but a prudent amount of regulations is necessary because this can't just be the Wild West where everybody's doing whatever they want and, all of a sudden from time to time, a bunch of people lose all their money. So if we hope to have a more stable environment and see cryptocurrencies grow over time, the regulations are going to be a core part of that. This has hit Bitcoin, it hit Ethereum, it's hit pretty much all of the cryptocurrencies. Okay, so I just want to take a quick look at a chart. This is the value of all coins and tokens put together. So at one point, this peaked at over $3 trillion in 2021. So it is now at $948 billion. This takes us under $1 trillion. I do want to give a shout out for those of you who watch our Friday live stream. George, who's with us on the live stream, has been predicting for about the last 5 months that the cryptocurrency market cap was going to go under $1 trillion. And at the time, it was many multiples of that. So unfortunately, George was right. So congratulations, George. And hopefully this is the bottom and we turn around from here and start moving up. For those of you old enough to remember, and this was not that long ago, in 2008, there was basically a systemic crisis in the banking system. So this is eerily reminiscent of that, although it is on a much, much, much smaller scale. But back at that time, there was a series of some of the world's largest financial institutions, and I believe it started with Bear Stearns. Essentially, all over the course of maybe 2 or 3 days, Bear Stearns failed and it was bought out by JP Morgan. Some of our biggest banks were trading at $1 or $2 or $3 a share. Until the Federal Reserve jumped in, there was massive panic and there was a run on the banks. We did have to kick in one of the fail-safes, which was to open the Fed window and basically say all the banks are solvent, we're backing them up. So this is not on a scale anywhere near that right now, but it is reminiscent of that. If people can't be sure that they're going to get their cryptocurrency back, then that would obviously be, a potential systemic risk to the whole system. So again, I don't want to over-exaggerate it. I don't think every business is set up like this one is. I think this is a decent sized business, but it's much, much smaller. It's not on the scale of a Coinbase or a Binance. So this is the Celsius coin on the daily time frame. So you can see this is the end of a long cycle from them. I'm going to move out to the weekly so that you can see. Essentially, these guys peaked back in May and they were on a very steady downturn. And then from March 28th, we know that April and May was very tough on all the cryptocurrencies. However, you can see it was particularly difficult here on Celsius, and most of that was because of today. It's down 94% just in the last 2 months. This coin has been taken out, and this is the other thing where the SEC wants to straighten all these things out as far as, are they securities, are they commodities, because this is pretty much the exact fear that the SEC has. Now, we did see some legislation indicating that a lot of this stuff was probably going to move over to the commodities, and I think we're going to come to a consensus, but you can see this is giving fuel to the argument that regulations are necessary. This is a total collapse of one of the major coins. This was not a top 10 coin, and it's not the largest exchange, but the combination of these companies and coins being intertwined and the potential ramifications leaves some concern that we have got to get out of the market if we want to get to where we're going. So over time, I'll be talking about a shift to Bitcoin away from some of these other types of cryptocurrencies like Celsius. So that's for another day. For today, I will say that I think that this is a big reaction. It's yet to see whether it's an overreaction. I think it's probably a knee-jerk overreaction, but we need to see how the Celsius situation plays out. We need to see if depositors get their money back. So we're going to watch closely how this plays out. I think the majority of the shockwave has already gone through the cryptocurrency world, Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular. We will have to stay tuned. I will do my normal Bitcoin update and talk more specifically about Bitcoin later this afternoon, so you can stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to get this out and let everybody know what is going on because we're having an unusual event. We've taken out some major lines of support in Bitcoin. The Bitcoin miners are getting crushed, and it's not just a bad Monday. This is what's going on. So I hope that sheds a little bit of light on this. Again, this is not financial advice, so invest wisely. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, if you made it this far, subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. button. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.